I just want to give a quick update on Tropical Storm Erika for you. It continues to spin in the Atlantic, winds of 45 miles per hour, central pressure of 1,006 millibars, moving to the west-northwest now at 15 miles per hour. That is as of the 5 p.m. update from the National Hurricane Center. Now, I had updated my cone earlier today. I got good comments that said that my track did make sense. And someone also said to me, well, I think it's too far south. The reason why I had my cone extended too farther south to include even Cuba was because this Bermuda High is sitting over to the north of the system, and the winds from that high is steering it mostly to the west. It's going to be a very slow turn to the northwest. Will it turn to the northwest? Yes. It's going to be a slow turn, and it's hard to tell. It was hard to tell at that moment. Well, when exactly is it going to start making that northwest turn? So that's why I had mine shifted a little further to the south, because it couldn't go. If you look at what the National Hurricane Center had earlier today, it had the position of the storm and then had it going straight out to the north and west. Yet in their description, they had the storm moving to the west. That made no sense to me at all. And that high pressure to the north of this system was blocking this system from going to the northwest at the position it is and was. So that's why I think that this high pressure to the north, steering the storm mostly to the west, and then eventually a slow gradual turn to the northwest, probably over the Dominican Republic, is one will probably be more of a noticeable turn up to the northwest and up towards Florida. The southeast coast, I think, is definitely in play. So if you're in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, you need to start monitoring the storm. And if you're in the Dominican Republic, number one, you now have tropical storm warnings in effect. So you need to take action there, and you need to start getting ready to start planning in the event of a Category 1 hurricane, which that is forecasted by the National Hurricane Center. That does become a Category 1 hurricane as it approaches Florida by the end of the weekend and Monday and Tuesday of next week. It's not a very fast-moving system. It's kind of slow, kind of sitting in one area over a long period of time. Unfortunately, in Dominica, I believe it was 4 people, unfortunately, lost their lives from this tropical storm. So, although it is poorly disorganized, it's not very organized. It's still a fairly powerful storm. Very, very heavy rain right now. That is the main threat, the heavy rain. So that Bermuda High is the reason why I had my cone further south and west. So when you're forecasting these storms, you can't just look at the computer models and base your forecast off of that. You have to analyze what's actually going on right now, which is that Bermuda High to the north, steering the storm mostly to the west, rather than and the winds going to the west, blocking the storm, going straight up to the north and west, like the National Hurricane Center had it in their track. Yet their description had the storm going to the west. I didn't get how that went together very well. It made no sense to me at all. Tropical convection, there's some pretty good tropical convection. It kind of diminishes and then starts to burst up again. The thing is, we need a well-defined center. There's some wind shear in the area. Although the wind shear is not terrible, I do think that it's evident that there's a lot more favorable conditions after the Dominican Republic, north of there as you go towards the Bahamas. There's much more favorable conditions right now for hurricane development. That's why the National Hurricane Center has it intensifying as a hurricane, and so does most of our computer models in that area. There's warm water temperatures, much less wind shear, and really dry air. Not too much of a big issue right now. It's mostly the wind shear that's causing the storm and some land interaction. Very minimal right now, but at least some land interaction earlier today. That's diminishing the hurricane development right now. That's why it remains a tropical storm, kind of flip-flopping the winds between 45 and 50 miles per hour with the updates throughout the day. So that's my update I have to give to you, my little advice there. Once again, when you're forecasting these storms or any storm, you have to analyze what's going on right now and analyze, okay, does that computer model, or do all the computer models make sense? Which ones you think are right, and you then make your forecast based upon those, and where conditions are favorable. Like I said, my cone was further south than, or extended further south than the National Hurricane Center because of that Bermuda High, making the storm go mostly to the west rather than the northwest. That is the reasoning behind my forecast track, and now I'm going to make another update if necessary right now. The 5 o'clock update came in after the 18Z miles. I'll make any necessary changes to my track and I'll tweet it out hopefully by 6 o'clock. Also, I have an updated 7-day forecast coming out hopefully by 7 o'clock or sometime. Tonight I will be going to Cape May, New Jersey. Tomorrow I won't be back till Monday. I may or may not bring my computer. I probably will, so I can update you on the latest, because by Monday, Monday time frame, the storm will be starting to near Florida. People will have to start to take action, so I do want to update you as much as possible, and as I can. So if you have any questions about the storm, about my track, about what I think will happen, speaking of which, that CMC model, the Canadian model, don't believe it. It's way too early to say where it's going to go after Florida or after the southeast coast. The Canadian model, number one, isn't well known for getting hurricanes right, or these tropical or any tropical system right. Winter storms it does do pretty good in, and that kind of makes sense. Canadian model, winter storms, yeah, that kind of goes together. But it has like a sandy-like left hook into New York City and New Jersey. Don't believe that at this moment. I wouldn't put your money on it. Dave Kerr, News 12 New Jersey, said the same thing, that don't spread rumors around like, oh, New Jersey, prepare because according to Canadian this is going to happen. No, don't tweet that out, because it's way too far out. That's over a week out, and you can't trust the computer model with these systems that far in advance. First, we have to try to get the storm past the islands and develop into a hurricane, and is this going to go out to sea once it gets to the southeast coast, or is it going to come up the coast into the northeast? That's something to be determined mostly into next week. That's my update for you. If you have any questions, comments about the storm, you can tweet me or send me a direct message. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend. I'll keep you updated as much as I can.